Coming up on 5 Minute News. US acts on security fears about China. Russian forces look to leave nuclear site in Ukraine. And avian flu outbreak is deadliest in US history. It's Monday, November 28. I'm Santa Templeton. The US has banned the sale and import of new communications equipment from 5 Chinese companies, including Huawei and ZTE, amid concerns over national security. It's the first time US regulators have taken such a move on security grounds. Other companies listed include Hikvision, Dahui, and Hytera, which make video surveillance equipment and two-way radio systems. The Federal Communications Commission announced it has voted unanimously to adopt new rules that will block the importation or sale of certain technology products that pose security risks to US critical infrastructure. It's the latest in a years-long escalation of US restrictions of Chinese technology that began with President Donald Trump and has continued under President Joe Biden's administration. The FCC is committed to protecting our national security by ensuring untrustworthy communications equipment is not authorised for use within our borders. And we are continuing that work here, said FCC Chairwoman Jessica Rosenworcel. Huawei declined to comment. Hikvision said in a statement that its video products present no security threat to the US. But the FCC's decision will do a great deal to make it more harmful and more expensive for US small businesses, local authorities, school districts, and individual consumers to protect themselves, their homes, businesses, and property. The head of Ukraine's state-run nuclear energy firm claimed there are signs Russian forces might be preparing to leave Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, which they seized in March. Such a move would be a major battlefield change in the partially occupied southeastern region, where the front line has hardly shifted for months. Repeated shelling around the plant has spurred fears of a nuclear catastrophe. In recent weeks, we are effectively receiving information that signs have appeared they are possibly preparing to leave, said Petro Kotin, head of Energatoum, on national television. One gets the impression they're packing their bags and stealing everything they can. Russia and Ukraine, which was the site of the world's worst nuclear accident in Chernobyl in 1986, have for months repeatedly accused each other of shelling the Zaporizhzhia reactor complex, which is no longer generating energy. It used to provide around a fifth of Ukraine's electricity. Ukraine this month recaptured the southern city of Kherson and a chunk of land on the right bank of the Dnipro and Kherson region. On Friday, the UN nuclear watchdog said Ukraine's 3 nuclear plants on government-held territory had been reconnected to the grid, 2 days after a Russian missile barrage forced them to shut for the first time in 40 years. Avian flu has wiped out 50.54 million birds in the United States this year, making it the country's deadliest outbreak in history. US Department of Agriculture data shows the deaths of chickens, turkeys, and other birds represents the worst US animal health disaster to date, topping the previous record of 50.5 million birds that died in an avian flu outbreak in 2015. The birds often die after becoming infected with the virus. Then entire flocks, which can top 1 million birds at egg-laying chicken farms, need to be culled to control the spread of the disease. Losses of poultry flocks sent prices for eggs and turkey meat to record highs, worsening economic pain for consumers facing red-hot inflation and making Thursday's Thanksgiving celebrations more expensive in the United States. Europe and Britain are also suffering their worst avian flu crisis, and some British supermarkets rationed customers' egg purchases after the outbreak disrupted supplies. Asda data shows the US outbreak, which began in February, infected flocks of poultry and non-poultry birds across 46 states, with wild birds transmitting the virus known as highly pathogenic avian influenza, or HPAI. Farmers struggled to keep the disease and wild birds out of their barns after increasing security and cleaning measures following the 2015 outbreak.
You can subscribe to 5 Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5 Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Subscribe, rate and review online at 5minute.news. 5 Minute News is an Evergreen podcast covering politics, inequality, health and climate, delivering independent, unbiased and essential world news daily.